Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom. If you're at home, if you're in your kitchen, if you're in your living room, if you're in your basement, it doesn't matter where you are, we are all together here tonight as a community. I invite you to raise your voices and to sing. Yelai, 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 hey, yelai, 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 kiva moed, kiva moed, kiva moed, kiva moed, kiva moed, kiva moed.
I think, Rick, what I love about Judaism is that actually no matter what is going on in our lives, even when we have just experienced a tragedy, when Shabbat comes, regardless of where we are, we're actually supposed to stop and we rejoice, because Shabbat is supposed to be filled with joy. So no matter what we have been feeling all week, if it's been anxiety, if it's been worry, if it's been fear, whatever else, our tradition says that tonight we set all of that aside, and for the next 24 hours, it is about joy, it is about peace, it is about rest, which is such a gift to us. And tonight, as we welcome in Shabbat, we also remember. We remember a great among our people. And it's interesting that we remember Yitzhak Rabin, former Prime Minister of Israel, in this week of an election. And I love when we can turn to the Hebrew language. In Hebrew, the word bechira is election. It's a word that gets used quite often in Israel. Lots of elections. The root of that, or the verb of that, is livchor, to make a choice. And in our tradition, there's this recognition that yes, we have these moments of bechira, a time where we have to make a choice, but throughout our lives, we are making lots of choices. Lots of choices that have to do with ourselves, and lots of choices that have to do with other people. And Yitzhak Rabin was one of those visionaries who could look just beyond what was in front of him and see what could be. He could dream. He could imagine based on everything he experienced in his life. And in the moments when he had to livchor, to make a choice, he did so with his heart, and he did so listening and with compassion and with respect. And I think as we move into Shabbat, he is that model for us of how we go about continuing to live in a world that it sometimes is so confusing, but we can do so with him as a model, imagining what could be if we make choices with compassion and with peace in mind.
Imagine, you try that. Say it. Imagine 1948, promised land becomes a state. Dreams of generations have come true. You sing it. Imagine olive trees as far as the eye can see. Memories of lives lost for me and you. Imagine Yitzchak Rabin making peace instead of enemy. Shalom Chaver, you lead us still with strength. Yeah, imagine our ancient family singing at the Sea of Reeds. If they could see us sing this song today. Imagine where we've been, what we've been through. Imagine how far we have come, what we can do. Imagine peace on earth, closer than it seems. We imagine with our will, we'll always find our dreams. Yeah, imagine, you all say it. Imagine 6 million lights shining in the sky tonight, reminding us to fight for our dignity. Imagine Jewish teens in camps from coast to coast, they sing loud and proud about our history. Imagine Jews far and wide, united standing side by side. Together we believe in our homeland. Imagine you and me singing perfect harmony. Arm in arm, community we stand. Imagine where we've been, what we've been through. Imagine how far we have come, what we can do. Imagine peace on earth, closer than it seems. We imagine with our will, we'll always find our dreams. Yeah, imagine Ilan Ramon, an Israeli man in outer space, staring down at the human race. The music plays. Imagine all the people living for today. You may say that I'm a dreamer. Well, I'm not the only one. I hope someday you join us, and the world will live as one. Yeah, imagine where we've been, what we've been through. Imagine how far we have come, what we can do. Imagine peace on earth, closer than it seems. We imagine with our will, we'll always find our dreams. Yeah, yeah, imagine. Imagine,
Ugh, I'm going to hold that. Imagining what could be as we come into Shabbat. I'm going to ask you to grab your candlesticks, your candles, your wine for Kiddush, so that together, as we imagine what the world could be, we welcome in Shabbat. And a poem by Alden Salavi, Shabbat is the place. Shabbat is the place where time and space meet, without questioning how the beginning began or how the ending ends. Shabbat is the place where song and silence meet, blessing each other with the gift of rest. Shabbat is the place where dreams and angels meet, yearning together for a world of peace. Shabbat is the place where holiness and eternity meet, praying together for the world to come. So we now welcome in Shabbat with the lights of our candles. We draw the light and the warmth, all of the dreams to us as we join together in the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lachadlik ner shel Shabbat. And as we, so too, welcome in Shabbat with Kiddush, there was evening and there was morning the sixth day. The heaven and the earth were finished and all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had done. And God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had been doing. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodesho be'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron le'maaseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim ki banu v'acharta b'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen. We say l'chaim, to life, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. You know, Rabbi, when you're talking about, how Shabbat is a time of joy, it's a time for us to stop. It's not, it's not easy to stop. It's not easy to turn off. And I was thinking about how my wife, Elisa, who is a camp counselor for, for many years, she talked about how with the kids who are homesick, they'd have teary times. And what they would do is they would invite the kids to have their time to cry. They would give them like 20 minutes to cry. And that was the cry time, okay? And then when that was done, it was time to go back to camp. Yes. And I feel like, and Elisa actually reminds me when it's time to take a break or when it's time to have Shabbat, that there's a time to be busy, there's a time to have anxiety, and there's also a time to just let it go and just say, something, the world can wait. All the stuff out there can wait. It's going to be okay without me worrying about it.
Exactly,
yeah.
And it's still going to go on,
yeah.
Whether or not we are tuned into it.
Exactly.
So, you take that cry time, but then you come back in, as you said, with Shabbat. And as we welcome in Shabbat tonight, this is that time. Tune it out. Turn off the noise. Turn off the TV. You don't need to watch CNN or MSNBC or Fox or whatever you've been watching. Power off your phone and just
power down.
Breathe.
Power down, spirit up.
Right. I love it. Power down and spirit up, and welcome in that joy into your hearts. And imagine what it will feel like to just let it go.
Yeah. Shir Adonai, sing unto God a new song. We sing together. Shiru L'Adonai, L'Adonai. Shir Chadash, Chadash. Shir L'Adonai, Shir לאדוני כל הארץ. כל הארץ. שירו לאדוני, ברכו שמו. בשרו מיום ליום, ישובתו. שיר לאדוני. שירו לאדוני, לאדוני. שיר חדש. שיר חדש, חדש. שיר לאדוני. שירו לאדוני, לאדוני כל הארץ. כל הארץ, הארץ. I'll sing, you sing. לך דודי, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, לקבלה, לקבלה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, לקבלה, שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, ישמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, שם ותפארת לתחילה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, לקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, לקבלה. לקראת שבת, לכו ומנחה, כי היא מקור הברכה, בראש מקדם ניסוחה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, לקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, לקבלה. מואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ומשולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, לקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, לקבלה. לך דודי, לך דודי, לך דודי. We continue with the words of the Baruch Hu. I invite you to join us. Let's sing it together. Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Are you awake? prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. Leolam Vaed. Yalalai lai lai, 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 yalalai lai lai. I invite you to join us in singing the words of the Shema. We can take out our Shema hands. We've been doing this for so many years at United Hebrew. I love this tradition. As we put on our blinders and we let all this stuff go so that we can hear what's important right in here. Say Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
And if you are standing, you may be seated. Heart, Soul, Might by Alden Salavi. When you choose Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, to love Adonai your God b'chol levavcha, with all your heart, you must choose to love yourself the way God does. When you choose Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, to love Adonai your God b'chol nafshecha, with all your soul, you must choose to love others the way God already does. When you choose Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, to love Adonai your God b'chol me'odecha, with all your might, you must choose to love creation the way God already does. And when you choose to love everything and everyone the way God already does, you will flow with grace through the river of life to the soul of the universe. Lema'an tizkaru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai, vitem kidoshim lelohechem. Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them, and you will become holy unto your God. And as we come to the words of Mi Chamocha, as we imagine so long ago our ancestors, at that time when they needed to flee, they needed a moment at the sea, and there was fear. And yet, some of them jumped in, specifically Nachshon, to move forward, and they were looking for that path. And sometimes, when the path isn't there, sometimes we have to build the path or build the bridge. Bridges by Mary Grace Bertulfo. Unpack your hidden tools, America. Dust off your generosity of spirit, your open-handed friendship, your sense of possibility. Reach beyond the din of hatred to the still, peaceful place inside. Remember the kindness and the frailty of your needles, of our better nature summon us. Build, they say, build. Build bridges between neighbors. Embrace openly on the streets and demonstrate the fortitude of love. Many faiths, our diversity makes us wiser. Many races, our diversity broadens our beauty. Many traditions, our diversity makes us richer. So build America, bridges. Today, right now, great America, unpack your tools of peace. Extend your bridges to your neighbors so that we may walk together across this land in freedom.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, osef eleh. Who is like you? Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? Moses and the children crossed the sea. They sang to you with songs of joy. Who is like you, Adonai? Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Invite you to rise as we sing the words of the Amidah. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Sfatai tiftach. Ayana ayana ufi agi tehilate.
Page 166. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zocher Chasdei Avot ve'imahot, Umevi Geula livnei v'neihem, Lema'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Page 168. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah Rab le'hoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Zomech noflim verafech olim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Micha mocha ba'al gevurot, Umijo melach, Melech meimit umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'chachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Page 170. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Ukdoshim b'chol yom yehalelu chasela, Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Ki ata hu melech adon lekol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam, Tasim Le'olam.
If you are still standing, you may be seated.
We continue with this healing prayer. El Na'refa Na'ala. Please heal her now. The words that Moses prayed to God when his sister Miriam was sick. He said, please heal her now. Please heal my sister. And as we sing this, this melody tonight, I invite you to think of those in your life who are in need of healing, to think of those who do not have someone to say healing prayer for them. And especially if you yourself are in need of healing, this prayer is for you. We can say this for ourselves too. And that's important sometimes. El Na'refa Na'ala, Refuah Shlema. El Na'refa Na'ala, please heal the soul. El Na'refa Na'ala, Refuah Shlema, Refuah Shlema. El Na'refa Na'ala, please heal the soul. Misheberach Abraham Sarah, Yitzchak v'Rivka, Yaakov, Rachel v'Leah. El Na'refa Na'ala, Refuah Shlema, Refuah Shlema. El Na'refa Na'ala, please heal the soul. El Na'refa Na'ala, Refuah Shlema. El Na'refa Na'ala, please heal the soul.
Shall we add Mishaberach to that, just for those who want to hear it? Sometimes
Sure.
I know for some. So I know Rick asked us to think of those names, but I'm going to ask you, if you haven't called them out into the world, to share those names. And we add a second prayer of healing because I know for so many in our community, this is one of those Mi Sinai prayers of healing that help us and lift us up in this world. And so familiar. May God heal us in body, in spirit, and in soul.
Misheberach Avoteinu Mekor Habracha Le'imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing and let us say, Amen. Yisheberach imotenu mikor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
And we go from blessings for healing to blessings of birthdays. Birthdays which are moments of strength and moments of courage as we take a step into another year of our lives. And I don't have names because we aren't together and people haven't sent names to me, but I do know there are so many of you who are celebrating birthdays in this month of November. And if you are celebrating a birthday and you are sitting near someone, have them wish you a happy birthday or place a hand on you. And if you are with yourself a happy birthday. And this blessing will be for you. But as we celebrate, I want to acknowledge that Doris Fagan, it is going to be or is her 82nd birthday. And so we wish Doris a happy birthday.
Nice.
And since I can, I'm going to throw it in. My mom's birthday was a couple of days ago, so I want to wish her a very happy birthday. Her birthday week is always a little bittersweet since there are some family members whose yahrzeits are always this week of her birthday, so happy birthday. But we want to bestow this blessing on all who are celebrating birthdays, or if there's anything that you are celebrating in this month, this blessing is for you.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ye'er Adonai panav lecha v'yiruneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha, V'yasem lecha shalom. V'yasem lecha shalom.
May God bless you and may God watch over you. May the light of God's presence shine upon each one of you and always, always be gracious to you. And may the divine countenance always be turned toward you. May that presence, the presence of God in your lives, bring to each of you the gift of shalom, the gift of shalom, the gift of peace, and the gift of wholeness.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ye'er Adonai panav elecha v'yiruneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha, V'yasem lecha shalom. V'yasem lecha shalom.
And we say to each one of you, Ad mea ve'esrim, may you live to be 120, just as Moses did. Mazal tov, happy birthday. May it be a wonderful, wonderful year. And before we begin to conclude our service, just a couple of announcements and reminders that Shabbat will continue tomorrow with Torah study. You should join us. It is going to be quite the conversation as we talk about the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. So please join us at 9 a.m. on Zoom. You can find that link on our website. Shabbat morning services will be at 10:30 tomorrow morning, and we will celebrate the bar mitzvah of Jeremiah Mantenban, and Mazal Tov to Jeremiah and his family. And then tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. will be next week now as we come back together for Havdalah, as we say goodbye to this Shabbat and find that renewed strength and energy to move forward into the next week. And just a reminder, because yes, I know if you've been out, the holiday season is upon us. So just a reminder that the gift shop, though not open after services, the gift shop is open. If you need anything for Hanukkah, I am sure that we have it. So please feel free to call the office or call Iris and make that time to come up for all of your Hanukkah shopping. So we now turn in our prayer books to page 586 as we rise for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'tet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegoralenu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Page 591. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. You may be seated. And we turn to page, if you are following along in a prayer book, we turn to page 594. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch. A fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be and oh, to lose. A thing for fools this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing, to love what death has touched. This Shabbat, the heartfelt condolences of our congregation go out to the families of Sherry Gorman, Robert Allen Rich, Harold Rosenberg, Marilyn Sue Wagner. We are in the period of Shloshim for Gail E. Goldenberg, Philip Merriam, and Jack Needles. This week, this Shabbat, we observe the yard sites and we lovingly remember Bet Nis Abelson, Philip Joseph Abelson, David Abrams, A. David Balk, Peter Barry Jr., J. A. Bialik, Howard B. Bornstein, Lewis Carl, Melford Cohen, Milton J. Dickman, Harry L. Dubman, Thelma Faintich, Annette Rodenberg-Feldman, Marvin Feldman, Bev Fryman, Tilly Silver Glazer, Samuel Goldstein, Bernard Goodman, Aaron Harry Gorman, Jacob Greenberg, Gerson S. Grollman, David N. Grossberg, Harry Saul Grossberg, Jane S. Grossman, Euless Gutter, Molly Harris, Ralph W. Hartman, Elaine Hutkins, Jerome Jacobson, Mark Jacobson, Sam Keisel, Gertrude Carney, Roger M. Katz, Madeline Keene, Ida Klebansky, Jacob Kransberg, Dorothy Krell, Nathan Krem, Charles Kuttner, Jacob Lampert, Joseph Lorman, Leopold Levy, Mamie F. Levine, Frank E. Lickhalter, Hazel Hafner-Malpe, Gertrude Moldavsky, Harold Newman, Harry Novison, Max E. Orenstein, Marion Papirner, Mary Passon, Abe Pittler, Bernice Podolsky, Yitzhak Rabin, Norman Lewis Robertson II, Harriet Gam Rosenberg, Clara Rosenthal, Sam Rodenberg, Eugene P. Rubin, Harry Sander, Nathan Sander, Pearl Sander, Dorothy Bierman Sandow, David Sayeta, Morris Schneider, Doris Birnbaum Schneider, Frank Schramm, Bertha Schrenzel, Jake Schwartz, Sam Seltzer, Meyer Sirks, Jerry Silverman, Joseph Silverstein, Harriet Silverstone, Rose Spitzer, Anita Guller Schechtman Suffian, Faye Urbach, Eve Walzer, Herman Weitrub, Ben Weisberg, Mildred E. Weiss, Hattie Wild, Fanny Wilson, Morris Wolf, Stanford G. Wolfson. Zichronam livracha, may each of their memories be for blessing. As we turn to the words of the Mourner's Kaddish on page 598, and we rise. Yit gadal ve'yit kadash shemei rabbah, bi'alma divrach yerutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chaye chon uvyome chon, uv'chaye dochol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehe shemei rabba mevorach le'olam olmei almaya. Yit barach ve'yish tabach ve'yit pa'ar ve'yit romam ve'yit naseh. Ve'yit hadar ve'yit alev ve'yit alal shemei dekudashar barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Damiram be'alma ve'imru. Amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen.
Hine ma tovu ma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu ma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu ma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu ma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, hine ma tovu ma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu ma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad.
How good and how pleasant it is that we can be together to bring in the joy of Shabbat. Thank you to Rick, and thank you to Art, Candy, David, and Linda, our tech people. Thank you. Thank you. And a blessing, a prayer, as we move further into Shabbat. And Shabbat is all about angels, those angels that come to visit us on Shabbat. And in this week's Parsha Vayera, there were angels who came to visit Abraham, and a recognition that we too can be those angels that walk in this world. May you be aware of the presence of angels in your life every moment, every day. May you remain receptive mind open to possibilities and potentiality in your life. May you open your heart and watch with eagerness for opportunities to help and care for others, to be an angel in someone else's life as an expression of your generosity. May you sense the presence of angels in a stranger's smile, in a moment of unexpected support. Amen. We wish all of you a week or a Shabbat, a weekend of peace and a weekend of rest, but most importantly, a weekend of renewal, to renew yourselves and be strengthened and whole as we move into the week at the end of Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Hine ma tov ma na'im sheberachim gam yachad. Hine ma tov ma na'im sheberachim gam yachad. Hine ma tov ma na'im sheberachim gam yachad. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.